Welcome to the first ever story time on this channel. It's not really a story, it's more of just I want to tell you guys about something that I hate. Not something, like a people that I hate, but it's not like you would think, like black people or white people. I don't hate like colors of people. I fucking hate the hippies. And I've been thinking about this all day. And I didn't mean to cuss there. I'm trying not to cuss on this channel. I hate the hippies. And I've been thinking about it like all day. And like, I've been thinking about when my hatred for the hippies started. Because like, first of all, who doesn't hate the hippies? Like, there's no weirder group of people than hippies. But I think my hatred for the hippies started like 10, I'm 22, so 11 years ago. I was probably like 11 years old. This is just an estimate. But it was like, I was playing baseball. So I was in the Little League, YLP Little League. So for those of you who aren't in the mountain community, which is the majority of these people listening, I actually want to know. So like, if you're listening to this and you don't, oh God. If you're listening to this and you don't personally know me, why are you listening to this? How did you find this channel? Like, just reply like, I'm listening to this because I'm bored. Because it genuinely, like, I want to know who watches this channel other than the 32 people who know me personally. Actually, I don't even know if these 32 subs know me personally. I know like 10 of you do, but like, who is subscribed to this channel? I'm genuinely curious. Back to the point, the story. So back, well, it was YLP baseball. You play Little League. So what would happen is like after the baseball game, and for those of you who don't know, Little League is baseball, and YLP Little League was just Yosemite Lakes Park Little League. It's where I grew up. I didn't grow up in Yosemite Lakes Park because that's where the rich snob kids grew up, but I grew up near there. It's the only Little League was YLP. I guess other than Oakhurst. But Oakhurst Little League was like for the weird kids, so we didn't talk to them. Anyways, I'm off on a tangent here. I'm still hopped up on this Coke Zero from earlier, so I'm a little all over the place. Okay, so after you would play YLP baseball, so after you played your game, what would happen is like, if you had older brothers, you would go down below, because there was like a staircase, they'd take you down to the playground, and you would just play with the kids, with the other kids your age, that's where you would play while your brother played baseball, because like, you're not going to watch him play baseball. He probably sucks. I know my brothers did. So, we used to always play a game called Soldiers, which is like exactly what you think it is. It's a bunch of kids playing soldier. But what that meant was we would pick up rocks and we would just throw them at each other. And that would be like our bullets. And I remember vividly one time, some girl was standing on the play structure with us. And so we assumed she was cool, but she's obviously not. And I said, hey, do you want to play soldiers with us? And I was like 11. And she was also probably like 11. She might have been 12. And she looked at me and she said, I would never play soldiers because America is the worst, because we're always going to war with other countries and bullying them. And I don't believe in war. And even when I was like 11, I remember thinking, what's wrong with this girl? Like, we're just trying to throw rocks at each other. And she's over here trying to ruin our fun. Like, what's wrong with her? And that was the first time I remember thinking, like, what is wrong with hippies? Like, why is this girl trying to ruin our fun? Go die in a hole or something. Like, never be that hippie. And I've been thinking about that girl a lot lately because I want to know. I grew up in a very small community. There's like 10,000 people in the entire community. And like, who is this girl? Like, I have to know her because she was at the Little League. So if she played Little League, so she either went to Course Gold or YLP, or if she's like super weird, she went to Spring Valley. But like, there's like 10,000 people in that whole community. So like, I have to know her. And I think about her like once a month, thinking like, who is this girl? Where is she now? Is she still a hippie? I really want to know. And then now, the next hippie that I remember like avidly running into was my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Glines. She was like, I remember not realizing she was a hippie until one day she came into class. And she was just like, listen guys, listen kids. And she was in a combined 4th and 5th grade class. So like, I don't know what that means, but like, she was teaching 4th and 5th graders. But she was like, listen guys, I'm not going to be all there today because like my uterus fell out last night. And I remember just like blowing my mind. I was like, uterus? What's a uterus? Can a uterus just fall out? And then she was like, but don't worry, I picked it up and I put it in this jar. And then she like pulled a jar out of her purse. And like, now that I think about it, like there's no way her uterus was in that jar. Like, I don't know what fell out of her. There's no way it was her uterus, but like, I remember I'm scarred by the fact that I'm convinced my 5th grade teacher's uterus fell out, and then she brought it to school and showed us all it. And like, you can ask the other people in that class, like they all saw the jar. And that was the second time in my life that I was like, these hippies are monsters. Like, who shows a 5th grader a uterus in a jar? Whether or not it's a uterus in a jar, like, just don't show it to people. I don't know what it was, but it scarred me. And then, like, my 3rd hippie that impacts my life is another hippie called, like, Matt Powers. Dang it. The 3rd hippie in my life, I use my high school English teacher, Matt Powers. I don't know why I'm naming his first and last name, but, like, I wrote it down in my notes as Matt Powers. And everybody knew he was a hippie. He would go on these long tangents where he would, like, he was, like, the best teacher because, like, I want to say he was just kind of stupid because, like, he'd be, like, lecturing and you could raise your hand and he'd be like, oh, yeah, you. And he'd be like, Mr. Powers, what do you know about Bill Gates? And he would be like, Bill Gates, he's putting chemicals in the atmosphere that's gonna kill the corn, and it's making brain parasites. He's taking over the world. And he'd go on like a no joke, an hour-long rant about Bill Gates. And you could do that with like literally anything. You could be like, hey, what do you think about electric cars? And he would go on a rant about how electric cars are like killing the environment. He was the easiest teacher to take advantage of. This guy was such a hippie, okay? His final project, he was just like, hey, for my final project, I just want you guys to like do something. I don't even care what it is. You just have to put 100 hours into it and I'll give you a grade. So I heard this and I told him, I said, hey, Matt, Mr. Powers. I didn't call him Matt. That'd be weird. I was like, Mr. Powers, I want to survive in the wilderness for 48 hours. I'm going to go out there on a weekend and just survive. And he was like, whoa, man, that's like really cool. Yeah, you can do that. So what I did is I just filmed a video of me walking in my backyard, like 100 yards away from my house. And I was like, wow, look at all the trees. And like, I just made a video, like I recorded trees and I was like, man, we're so far out here. And then I just turned the camera off and I went inside. And then every like 5 hours, I would just go back out like 100 yards from my house. I would turn the camera back on and I'd be like, God, it's so hot. I'm sweating my balls off. I haven't had anything to eat in like 12 hours. And then I would turn the camera off and I'd go back inside. And like, I didn't even edit it together. I just submitted like separate clips. And he gave me over 100%. He gave me like 112%. And then I was like, man, these hippies are stupid. So like, that was basically this whole video. Is I just wanted to rant about how much I hate hippies. So like, if you guys are a hippie, be something else. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Goodbye. Unless you're a hippie, in which case, get off this channel. I hate you.